insects, what could we do without them? Well, most of our food products are pollinated by various insects, bees, as well as certain flies and wasps and even certain types of birds. But anyway, so our food chain is dependent upon insects, and even what many animals eat. They eat insects. It's a major part of their diets. Fish like to eat insects, things like that. I think they help keep life in balance here on planet Earth. I don't know what it would have been like before the fall and the curse. There would have been things that insects that we say are a pest that perhaps had a better function back before the curse and the fall. Whoa, there was a big one there, Tom. You know, no, I don't like it up there. Now you're gonna lose track of how many you have here. Dan, have you counted them? When my wife and I got married, Kennedy and I, we had a deal. She would take care of the bugs, I take care of the snakes. And so now here I am with things that terrify me, and I don't know what Dan breeding here of creatures of creation is doing, because I'm not going to look down and see. But I think he's got these bugs crawling all over me. It does have all these bugs crawling. Would anybody like to do this? Here comes Dan, and he decides he's going to start putting these big cockroaches on me. And I'm looking down at these things and I'm thinking, I don't like this at all. And I didn't. But what do? There's cameras on you and they're taking pictures. So anyway, I think he got them all off. I thought one went up my sleeve for a while. That was most uncomfortable, but they're kind of a friendly bug. So I guess if I'm going to have bugs on me, I'd just soon have hissing cockroaches. Now I know one thing, I'm a dentist.
Okay.
And people eat these things.
Oh.
And if you eat like 5 or 6 or 7, they have a neurotoxin. They have this, it's like Novocaine, and your mouth goes numb. Is there one coming on my arm over here?
Nope.
Oh, I'm starting to feel bugs.
1, 2.
And it's like a Novocaine, and it puts your mouth to sleep and your throat to sleep. And maybe they're made that way so that if you start eating those, I don't want to eat any more of those. So I think God provided insects for things to eat, including people to eat. And he tells us it's good. We can eat the locust, and we can eat certain types of grasshoppers. It doesn't appeal to me, but it did to John the Baptist, I guess. But anyway, tell us some things about these bugs.
Well, I know that the bugs on a whole, and especially roaches, are a good delicatessen of a lot of different animals. Like, say for instance, in South America, the coatimundis, they eat a lot of different types of roaches, but these are not South American. These are what are called Madagascan hissing cockroaches. They come from Madagascar.
Well, we could take them back to Madagascar.
Yeah, I feel the same way, and so does my wife. I'll tell you, these guys though, they're very different amongst the roach world because they hiss.
Do they bite?
Well, you know, I've never been bit by one, but I've never really held one long enough to find out. But you seem to be doing really, I mean, they seem to like you. I don't know, maybe you might want to take a couple back to Texas with you. But they're a great source of protein for a lot of different animals.
Oh, they're protein.
Out in the wild, right, exactly.
Hissing cockroaches, of course, are called hissing cockroaches because they hiss, but they have these pores, these like little holes on their underside, and they force air in and out, which makes these different hisses.
Now, can you tell me more about, I mean, how in the world does just a simple bug, which we would call simple, because when we look at it, we see its legs, we see its back, we see its little antennae that help it to find where it's going, but how in the world can a bug like this make its own complex compound, such as a neurotoxin? I mean, that's amazing.
Yes, they appear to me to be designed and created for exactly doing what they have to do to survive, and they also are very good at making people nervous. And I would also say that I'm not thinking too well, Dan. These things are all over me. What are you supposed to do when you have these bugs? Janet, where's my wife? Janet, start killing these bugs. When we look at a cockroach fossil and we look at a living cockroach, you look at the fossil, you say, well, that's a cockroach. You look at the cockroach, well, that's a cockroach. And there's no difference between the two. Even though this cockroach is supposed to be like 250 million years old in the fossil, this one is, you're just looking at it. Why is there no difference? Why didn't they evolve something? Most times the books will just say, well, they were perfectly suited to their little niche in the environment. They didn't need to evolve. So something evolves if it needs to. Well, how would it know it needed to if it's just a mindless chance process? So there's questions that I have that actually convinced me that I can trust the creation account more than I can trust the evolutionary account of things. Dan, you say these things have different types of hisses, like a frightened hiss or we're going to battle type hiss. And I've read where the female doesn't do certain types of hisses and not nearly as many hisses as the male. So the male is the big hisser in the family.
That's right, because chivalry isn't dead in the roach world as well.
Dan, thank you for being with us today with your cockroaches. And we'll see you next time.